children are not tiny adults. And because they're not tiny adults, we cannot, by downward extension, take the expectations that we will have of them in adulthood and apply them to what the child is right now. If you want your child to be generous in adulthood, you don't make them be generous as a 4-year-old. What you do is you show up generously as a parent, and your child will marinate in your generosity. And that will take on many shapes and many forms as it grows, and eventually that tree will bear fruit. They will grow up to become generous, but it's going to look different at 4. Because at 4, they're not meant to be thinking about the needs of others. They're meant to be thinking about the needs of themselves. That's exactly what you should be doing when you're 4. Your 4-year-olds, they're not supposed to share. They don't know anything about sharing. But my 4-year-old shares with people all the time. It's because your 4-year-old doesn't care. They're not actually sharing. They're just happy for whoever to play with whatever. But if they're really attached to something and it's their most special toy, they're not going to share because they're not supposed to. When they're 4 years old, they're supposed to think of themselves and themselves only. Normal. Your 9-year-olds are meant to have meltdowns as though they are 3 years old again when you tell them they must do chores before going outside to kick the ball around. Normal. Your 15-year-olds. When you tell them that they can't go to that party on Friday night because you don't know the parents in that household and you don't know what's going to happen at that party, they are meant to give you the middle finger salute and tell you you are the worst parent in the history of all parents, because at 15, their job is actually to start stepping away from you into those early stages of getting their legs underneath them, because eventually they will become adults. And they need to try it on for size. And sometimes it's tricky for them. So the step away sometimes becomes a push away. Very normal. Where the problem begins is when the parent is like, ah, and starts to punish the child for showing up normally. I have green eyes. Imagine what it would be like if I were punished for having green eyes.